Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to talk about how to choose a summer hat. Okay, it's not going to be about like the hiking hats or the baseball caps that you see all the time, but the traditional sun hat. And so most people, they live in this space right here where it's, they're more like costume hats. They're made out of like plastic, and they don't have like a sizing string inside here. And this is where most people live. They like these little hats, and they have different, even though they look great and stuff, they could be a little hot and a little heavy. It's like when these type of hats are like when you're walking around and you're in an emergency and you really want to buy hats. So you end up getting these type of hats. I really like this one. This one is a bucket hat, and it has like little holes in there so it breathes and everything. And this one actually has a little adjustable tie underneath, but it's not cotton, it's still polyester. It's not as sturdy as it should be. But this is kind of like a bucket hat if you like it. All these are costume hats, and they have, like I said, this one, I like this one because it's a little bit lightweight and it has these breathable holes in it. And then there's also a different kind of hat that you probably didn't know about, is the ones that are made out of paper. So like this one right here, it's like a country hat, but it's made out of paper. Look, see how it has this, how like it's on flower vases has this, it's paper. So this type of hat is made out of paper. It's breathable, it's lightweight, you can wear it all day if you want. It's very casual. I usually wear this with like, my white little country dress or something like that, my spring dress, or like my shorts. But this one is really lightweight. It doesn't have an adjustment in here. And so, like I said, these are all costume hats. And to get it stiff like this, they kind of wax it a little bit, dip it in wax in order to fold it and make this hat. It's made out of paper. And so these are all just kind of like costume hats. And like this one, I really liked it because of the shape. And it's also made out of polyester. And the detail here is also made out of paper. So I'm going to show you. And these are just like little hats that I liked because of the design and the way it looked and how sturdy it was. And so, but again, this is where most people live. This is because, um, they're more accessible, and they're a little bit more. Hats like this would be anywhere from like 20 to about $30. And then there's this kind of hat also. This is actually made out of cotton, like a cotton sweater hat. But the one thing that I don't like about this type of hat is that it's super heavy. Even though they have the wire, and the way that it stays up is because it has a wire in here, and it has the little holes for it to be breathable, but it's pretty tight and it can be a little heavy. So that's why I don't like the 100% cotton ones, because they're a little bit heavy, but they look super cute, right? And then in order for them to look good, like I said, in this type of hat, they need a wire. So you need to look for the wire, and then it can fit a little bit better. And then of course you have your sun hat. This one's kind of cute. It has a little thing in here, but this one's a little bit more, it's light. It's made out of like a little bit polyester and cotton, right? And this one I use it to garden, or like if I want it to have a little detail for people to see with my little dresses, I'll do that. And again, it has wires, so you can have a little bit more control of the hat. But like I said, these are all fashion hats where, this is where most people live. But now I'm going to move over to like hats that have sun protection. They're coated for that. They're foldable, bendable, and they're really, really lightweight. And so the first one I'm going to show you is this particular one. It's made out of cotton and polyester, and it also has the wire on here. And like a hat like this one is probably going to cost you roughly between $50 to $75. Okay. And also the reason why it's great is because it's coated. It'll say when you buy it, it will say that it's coated with a special thing for the sun. And in here, this particular one, the ties, they're a lot stronger, and you can tie it so that when the wind blows, it doesn't fall off your head. Where the other ones, it's a little bit more stretchy, and they're a little bit more flimsy, and so it's not going to stay on your head. And then with this particular one, it's also foldable, so you can pack it and restructure it um, in your bag. But again, these run anywhere from like 50 to $75. And this brand, these particular ones, they have many different types, but the one that I like is the Wallaroo brand from Australia. They tend to make really good hats. And then, like I said, this one is also from Wallaroo. This particular hat here, the reason why I like this hat is because they come in different sizes. This one is actually considered like a petite hat. And again, these will run you anywhere from like $50 to $75. And so this one is coated. And again, like if you look at the strap inside, this is pretty thick. It will hold on to your head, and it will tie very tightly because it's not stretchy. And this is a petite hat because it comes in different sizes. So like if you wanted it for your husband or whatever, it also comes in the traditional original size. And then I'm going to talk about this particular hat. This is actually my favorite hat. I bring this with me everywhere I go, to all different kind of countries. The reason why I love this hat so much, this is actually the third one that I bought because I have lost it twice. I left it, one I left in Jordan, the other one I lost it in Africa because I wasn't paying attention, and then it flew over the freeway. And so this is my third one, but I love this hat. This is my favorite hat. It's actually made out of polystraw, and polystraw has some type of like, it's mixed and it's weaved together, and it's also coated for the sun. And it's extremely light because it's made out of polyester and straw. And so, and this part right here is really stiff, but it's super light. You can wear it all the time, and you'll love something like this. But again, this, we're moving towards hats that are starting to become more, I don't know, like I said, mid-range prices. And so when they start, becoming lighter, foldable, or made out of cotton or things like that, they are a little bit lighter, and you can wear them all day. So this is actually my favorite hat. The other hat that I have that I really love, that is extremely foldable, and I bring it with me everywhere I go also, is this type of hat. This type of hat here is what we called a poly braid. Somehow they were able to stitch all the strings together, and you can fold it and in your suitcase, and it will just pop up the way that you want it to go. And this is so cute, right? Like it's foldable. You can put it in your suitcase and you're ready to go. And the reason why I like these Wallaroo hats is because, again, one, they are very, very light, and two, they're packable and you can travel with them, and they're breathable. So when you're bringing these with you to a different country, what's good about them is that you're not going to just go ahead and pick up the traditional hats that they're selling on their little carts, because by that time you're kind of desperate because you want some kind of like protection from the sun, and it's super hot. And so you'll just pick up, like I said, the costume hats, and it can be very plasticky, and it can be easily ruined. And the other thing also is that it can capture a lot of heat in your head, and you're not going to feel comfortable. But these are breathable, um, and you won't feel that way. And so, like I said, in all the Wallaroo hats, they are the tie is amazing, and when you tie it on, it's perfect for like if you go out on boating because the wind is like blowing all the time, or when you're wearing it on speedboat. In fact, you actually want to tie it under here when you're on the speedboat. But those type of hats are really helpful. But like I said, again, most people live in these type of traditional hats, paper hats, polyester hats, that you can find. But for traveling and, for lightness and for breathability, you kind of want to transition a little bit over to the other side so that you can basically wear it all day. And hopefully that was helpful. And if you have any questions, go ahead and post them down. But there are also other brands that you can buy that is in the same price range. You just have to look at the detail, whether it's poly braid, poly straw, made out of cotton, things like that, so that you can see how they fit and how they feel. But yeah, I hope that was helpful, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.